All right. Well, we are a minute after 10 a.m., so I'm going to go ahead and get us started. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here for September's all-staff meeting. Um, I wanted to go over a couple things with you before we get started. I'm Gina Beery, and I'll be our facilitator this morning. So, number one, everyone was muted upon coming in. That way we can get a nice quiet recording, which brings me to number two. This meeting is being recorded. So anyone who couldn't join us live can access the recording as well as the deck later this week. Please only unmute yourself if you are going to be speaking. I'm going to go ahead and hit a mute all right now because you hear a little bit of feedback. Let's see. Number three, please be aware of your video just so that you can maintain control over that, whether you want to have your video on or video off, which in Zoom it's called your camera. Let's see, we've also closed the group chat during this meeting just so that it doesn't detract from the speakers. So for any questions that you have, please do submit those via chat to Steve Wang by 10:30 a.m. That way we can get them answered in the latter portion of the meeting today during the Q&A section. And so this is a slide reminder to that effect. So use the Zoom chat feature to send your questions to Steve Wang by 10:30 a.m. And then a couple of tips for you of where to get some good information before I hand this over to Renee Fortier, our executive director. We want to make sure you guys are in the know and you have all the information you need and you're up to date. So we have three bullet points of information here for you. Remember to check out the E&T intranet site. We highly recommend bookmarking this. It always has the latest and greatest information. It's new as of this summer and it's updated regularly. The next is for any E&T operational updates. Here is a hyperlink for you to be able to check out that website as well. And again, reminder that this recording and deck will be sent out to everyone via email so you can have easy access to these hyperlinks. And then lastly, any campus COVID-19 updates is available for you at the hyperlink here that you see on your screen. So I'm going to go ahead without further ado and kick it over to Renee Fortier, our executive director.
Thank you, Gina. So hello, everyone, and welcome to our September Events and Transportation All-Staff Meeting. It's hard to believe that it's been 6 weeks since 6 months since we've been in this COVID era now, with a lot of remote working and not very many of our staff on site. And it's also hard to believe it's fall quarter already. So during today's meeting, we'll be giving organizational and operational updates and answering questions following the presentation. But first, I'd like to inform you that during last week's 2020 Research Ramp Up Virtual Town Hall, Administrative Vice Chancellor Beck announced the campus will be extending the work from home directive through winter quarter. So that means most of us will not be returning to campus until April. So I also wanted to share with you that, as you're aware, and as Chancellor Block shared in his message to faculty and staff on August 14th, UCLA is facing significant budget challenges as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. In light of these circumstances, and to assist the campus in generating savings, the campus is offering to departments the ability to have the voluntary separation program offered. So Events and Transportation will be offering it to eligible employees in classifications that are eligible to apply for the program, that provides the opportunity to voluntarily resign from UCLA employment in exchange for receipt of severance pay based on full years of service up to 20 years. So applications for VSP will be accepted until November 13th, 2020. VSP has been approved so far for policy covered and Teamsters represented staff. AFSCME has not yet agreed to the program. So we will be sending out information very soon from our department. So please keep an eye out for the announcement. Additionally, staff members whose work have been impacted by the campus closure are strongly encouraged to join the Talent Match program for open job opportunities during this time. And Kimberly Villarreal from E&T Central Administration is here to provide more information on that program as well as on other issues.
Great. Thanks so much, Renee. All right, Kimberly, go ahead and unmute yourself, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Renee. Hi, everyone. Just a few reminders. As Renee stated, Talent Match remains available for interested employees to enroll in the program. Talent Match is a program managed by Campus Human Resources and temporarily pairs participants in the program with another department on campus or through UCLA Health who may be understaffed. Employees are temporarily matched with other positions based on their skills and experience required for the job and their ability to meet the physical requirements and immunizations if required. More information about the program is available through the link to the Talent Match site on the internet. FFCRA, the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, is available for career employees through December 31st. To be eligible, you must have work available to you, but cannot work on site or telework due to one of the 5 specific COVID-19 related reasons listed on the form. If you are interested in applying for the FFCRA, please let your supervisor know. ERIT, also known as the Employee Initiated Reduction in Time, is still available for career employees interested in voluntarily reducing their work time, while also continuing to earn vacation and sick leave at pre-ERIT rates. Employees can elect to lower their percentage of time anywhere from 5 to 50% for a period of 1 month up to 36 months. More information, including a link to the ERIT site, is available on the internet. UC PAL, paid administrative leave, remains available for use for COVID-19 related absences through December 31st. Please request UC PAL time through your supervisor. An executive order from the UC Office of the President was sent out at the beginning of last month, informing the campus community that a flu shot is required before November 1st, 2020, if you will be working on site during this upcoming flu season, which is expected to last through April 2021. All UC health plans are offering the flu shot free of charge. Additionally, no or low-cost flu shots are available at CVS, Target, and Walgreens. Please speak with your area department administrator and or department representative if you have any questions regarding the flu shot requirement. I'm sure most of you have felt a couple of shakes this past month. September was Earthquake Preparedness Month. Hopefully, you've had an opportunity to take stock of your earthquake supplies and have a plan in place. The Great American Shakeout is scheduled for October 15, 2020, and would be a great end date to make sure you have what you need in the event of a large-scale earthquake. To participate, please go to shakeout.org California and register. Another informative website is earthquake.lacity.org. It includes information specific to the Los Angeles area and includes tips and supply lists. Don't forget to drop, cover, hold on. Remember to be safe out there, everyone, and thank you. I'm now sending this over to Robin.
Thank you, Kimberly. All right, Robin, you're up.
Hey everyone, so nice to see all of your faces. So today I'm going to provide you with a few reminders, couple updates, and let you know what's brewing for the month of October. So let's start with those reminders. Coaching conversations, believe it or not, they are due today. So hopefully this isn't a surprise to most of you. But the good news is, in case you haven't had the opportunity to have that coaching conversation, you have until the very latest, the end of next week. So the important part is to have that conversation and have that dialogue with your manager or supervisor. I do want to point you to our intranet where we have a dedicated page just to the coaching conversations, where you can find anything from the recorded workshops that we've done in the past to worksheets to help prep you and guide you through that conversation. So again, end of next week, and make sure you get those scheduled. So a couple weeks ago, we sent out a link to a training tracking tool. And the purpose of this tracking tool is a lot of us are taking different trainings from anywhere from CHR, maybe in-house, or even a certification training that you might be doing. So we wanted to make sure that there was a central location where people can track their training hours and the different types of training that they were doing and taking. So we sent that link out in an E&T news bulletin, but of course it's also on our intranet. So make sure after you do take some sort of training course that you get in the habit of logging that. That'll be helpful just to keep yourself organized. And also when we're scrambling around to turn in our training metrics for the fiscal year, this is a really good place to go to first and extrapolate that information and figure out what's missing from there. Also, I'd like to point out our training library that is on our intranet. So we have a lot of great resources that might make your life that much easier. So please make sure you're looking at that on a regular basis because it is really up to date with timely information. We have anything on there from our Zoom trainings to our Teams trainings, best practices, tips, tools. And our most recent, Tirza Nuno from Commuter and Parking Services did a training on DocuSign. So really valuable information on there. And again, just periodically check it out just in case you miss it in an E&T news bulletin. Technology Learn at Lunch. We are going to be hosting one on October 7th. We sent out a survey a couple weeks ago, and we wanted to know what people's pain points are with technology. Now that we're working from home, it's not that easy to figure out. Some people are using different programs or different apps, and so we wanted to make sure that everybody knew what to use, when to use it, and how to use it. So we collected all of that data that we received from that survey. And here we go. We're going to have a Learn at Lunch on that to help better answer everybody's questions. So again, October 7th at noon. And we did send this out in an E&T news bulletin yesterday. So check that out and make sure you have access to the Zoom link if you do plan on attending. And if for some reason you can't find that, reach out to me and I can plug it in on your calendar for you. Also coming up in October, we have a resume writing workshop. So more details to follow regarding that. Employee recognition, one of my favorite things. So I'd like to just take a quick moment to recognize our August Employee of the Month recipients. We have John Tompkins from Parking Enforcement, and we also have Tim Banuelos from the Data Lab. Just want to say thank you for all of your hard work and dedication and just being awesome. We really appreciate all that you do. Extra Mile program is still going strong. Huge thank you to everybody that is continuing to submit those nominations and recognize their employees and peers and coworkers for all of their hard work that they're doing for the organization. One thing that I want to make sure that everybody is aware of now that we're working from the Safer at Home, we're actually, instead of doing the hard copy target cards, we are sending out the gift cards electronically. So now the recipients will receive a PIN number to their e-gift card. And one other thing, which I know will excite some people, including me, is the gift cards are now for Amazon, no longer Target. So just wanted to make sure everybody was up to speed on that. Kudos, that is the virtual high five recognition program that we have. It's the one that's the immediate, you're doing a great job. I know we've mentioned it at the last couple staff meetings, but hey, wanted to mention it again. I do have to say a little goes a long way for people. And sometimes when you just click on your inbox and you see that somebody sent you that and just saying, hey, amazing job, thanks for all that you do, it's really hard to not put a smile on your face after that. So lots of great programs. They're all on our intranet with more information, but hey, send me an email if you have any questions and I'm happy to walk you through it. Employee engagement. So we have an upcoming photo contest, which is really exciting. So what we're going to do is tie a theme around that contest, and it's going to be a day in the life. So a day in the life, whether you're working on site or working from your home. And we want people to have fun with this. So be creative and take those great photos. So we're hoping we'll get a good turnout with this. And if it seems like it's a big hit, then maybe we'll have it pop up in other months. But we're going to create a platform so we can all vote on our favorite photo. And since I did say the word contest, that means the winner will be getting a prize. So very exciting. Virtual Halloween celebration. So we're trying to come up with a way to engage each other and kind of, maintain that camaraderie. October is always a pretty popular month for our department because we always have our fantastic Halloween potluck, which I always look forward to. But obviously this year we can't do that. So we're working on some ideas and teasing those out to figure out how can we do something virtually that makes us feel connected. So if you have some ideas, feel free to shoot them my way. I mean, for all I know, maybe we're all sitting in a bunny costume on a couch and watching a Halloween movie virtually together. I don't know what it will look like, but let's try to plan something fun. So what came out of last month, so gosh, what month was that? The August all-staff meeting, we sent out, of course, a survey asking the standard questions. Hey, what would you like to see next time? And so forth. And a really fun idea came out of that. One of our employees suggested that a great way to engage each other and kind of stay connected is to have maybe a photo slideshow. So you guys probably saw the E&T news bulletins that went out asking for those photos. And the theme that we tied around this was summer fun. So we sent those out, and I want to really thank the people that did submit those photos because you gave us a little peek into your lives. And that was pretty cool because it was nice to see people on their vacation or their furry little beasts or their quarantine cooking, whatever it was. It just definitely made it feel like, we're bringing in the people and really trying to stay in touch. So right now, all you need to do, kick your heels up and enjoy the next minute or two of our slideshow. Thanks, everybody.
All right, Robin, thank you so much. That was great. Oh, and again, next up for everybody, we have some operational updates. So without further ado, I'll kick it over to Dylan Henson with Commuter and Parking Services.
Thanks, Gina. All right, today I'll be talking about the Data Lab. The Data Lab is a site that we recently launched that contains dashboards related to several areas of E&T, with more dashboards being released regularly. The main goal of the Data Lab is to help empower all of you with the data you need to help make more informed decisions. So far, we've built dashboards that provide up-to-date information on different areas of our organization, such as space occupancy, pay station activity, citations, and more. Here's a look at the current Explore page in the Data Lab, where you can find several dashboards pertaining to these topics. One of the great features that the Data Lab is capable of is sending out emails automatically with a snapshot of the dashboard on a regular basis. So an example of that would be this graph on the right, which shows monthly auto renew permit returns and purchases since the beginning of the campus closure. And this gets emailed out daily at 5 p.m. to a group of subscribers, and it helps keep the BCP team up to date on our permit sales. So how can you get involved with the Data Lab? Well, aside from exploring the dashboards that have already been published, we encourage you to visit the request form to request a new dashboard that is customized to fit your needs. Once you submit the request, you'll receive a follow-up email and a meeting invite to discuss all the requirements for the dashboard. And if you're not sure if you need a dashboard, or you'd just like to find out more information on what options there are, feel free to set up a consultation meeting with either me or Tim, and we can walk through your data needs, go over what's available, and so on. So here's a GIF of our interactive space count dashboard that Tim created. It was one of the first dashboards that we released. It shows current space occupancy in each parking area on campus, and you can click on a structure to show each count that's been recorded throughout the day. And you can also select a date in the past to view historical space counts as well. So what's next for the Data Lab? Well, one exciting new feature that we actually just implemented earlier this week is data-driven alerts. And so what those are, data-driven alerts will trigger an email to selected users based on changes in the data. So for example, you could set up an email that gets sent out whenever there are, say, more than 10 citations issued in the same structure, or if daily permits are close to selling out in a certain lot. We're also working on providing Data Lab access to staff in other departments at UCLA, which will help the initiative of increasing data ubiquity and utilization across campus. And lastly, we're expanding the number of users in our own department who have publishing rights to the Data Lab, which means more people creating these dashboards. And there's also future potential to hire a student who will help with Data Lab work as well. So finally, here are a couple links to the Data Lab itself and the dashboard request form, which you can access once the slides are sent out after the meeting. And again, this is really a resource that's built for all of you. And so we want it to really be useful to you. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to send me an email. And now I'll kick it over to Abdallah from Mobility Planning and Traffic Systems.
Awesome. Thanks, Dylan. Abdallah, it's all yours.
Thanks, Dylan. Thanks, Gina. Hey, everyone. Going to go into the work we've been doing at MPTS. Starting off with the commuter surveys. First of which is the AQMD survey. So the AQMD survey is the annual survey we release that gives us a picture of how UCLA's employees commute to campus. While the main purpose is to fulfill regulatory requirements by the South Coast Air Quality Management District, the survey gives us valuable data on how effective our programs and promotion of sustainable transportation is. This year's survey was released during the first week of March, and while our response rates were all over 90%, and some of the highest numbers we've ever seen, there was likely conflation in the response data, given that surveys were submitted both before and after the pandemic declaration, when most employees commute most, the campus had experienced some change. In order to get a clearer picture of how many employees and students commute, if they are commuting at all, and how they are meeting their transportation needs, we plan to release a survey next month that is tailored to understanding the mobility picture of UCLA employees and students currently during COVID. The next topic I'd like to talk about is the BGP transit program. So the Bruin Grad Pass program is now officially live, with qualifying graduate students able to pick up and take advantage of their fare-free transit pass. The Bruin Grad Pass exists as a result of a graduate student referendum passed in April that levies an additional quarterly fee on most graduate students in exchange for unlimited fare-free access to all transit lines that serve campus, such as LA Metro, Big Blue Bus, and Culver City Bus. To date, over 1,400 students, graduate students, have placed an order on the pass, with over 600 of them picking it up, and many more expected to take advantage of this perk after the bulk of classes start tomorrow. MPTS is working on converting the remaining monthly pass commuter lines to per ride pricing so that every graduate student who picks up a pass can ride the commuter lines that serve UCLA, as well on the same card, in a way that is fiscally responsible for our department. Next up are bikes at Weyburn Terrace. So graduate students at Weyburn Terrace also have another mobility perk that they can enjoy this academic year: free bike rentals. Using the Bruin bikes from formal Bruin Bike Share program, starting next month, graduate residents will be able to check out these bikes at one of 7 courtyards at Weyburn Terrace and UA South, with the bikes being maintained by UCLA Fleet Technical Operations. The program is being offered in coordination with UCLA Housing and Hospitality Services. Next up, I have some public transit updates that I'd like to talk about. So fare collection is officially resumed on Culver City Bus about 2 weeks ago, with Big Blue Bus planning to follow suit within the next couple of weeks, pending installation of plexiglass barriers to protect its drivers from passengers paying at the front door. LA Metro is studying the possibility of universal fare-free access on all buses and rail lines across its system. And while we as a department are supportive of such a concept, we do not anticipate any such program to be implemented anytime in the near future, given the several complexities surrounding the initiative. Big Blue Bus has implemented route changes this week that affects its lines 17 and 2. Route 17 will now run through Weyburn and terminate at McGowan Hall, which will supplement Bruin Bus in providing intra-campus transit, especially for residents at Weyburn. The 2 will also be rerouted so that it loops around Wilshire Center on its northbound trips, which will allow students and staff in that vicinity to access Westwood and campus via transit alongside the Bruin Bus U2. Next up, I have some subway construction updates. Mainly I'd like to talk about the heavy work on Wilshire, including end wall piling, is expected to start this winter and last until next fall, which is expected to reduce the number of lanes on Wilshire and impact bus routes that come to campus. On the right, you can see a picture of a recent subway station work at Lot 36. And on the following slide is a visual outlining some of the expected transit impacts coming in February that we will be able to see on the next slide. So obviously pretty impactful, and our unit is in constant communication with both Metro and the municipal transit operators to get the most up-to-date information on the impacts and how we are planning on disseminating that information to you and the campus community at large. That concludes MPTS's updates, and looking forward to hear what Darren has to say from his unit.
Great, thanks so much, Abdallah. All right, Darren, it's all yours.
All right, thank you, Gina. Thank you, Abdallah, for that informative presentation. Good morning, everybody. Before we get started, just would like to say thank you, to acknowledge and to say thank you to our fleet and transit staff, for keeping operations running smoothly throughout the summer and continuing to help keep our UCLA community safe. Now, here are some operational updates. Bruin Bus will be transitioning from their summer service to fall service beginning tomorrow, October 1st. Our transit supervisory team has completed the new fall schedule, and we are ready to begin the new school year. Bruin Access will be operating via the on-demand app only. Safe Ride will also be operating via the on-demand app, and we would like to take this time to introduce the new Safe Ride fixed route Safe Loop that will service the Hill. Yes, that's right, you heard, the Hill. Both Safe Ride app and the Safe Ride Loop will operate Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Bruin Car, they have completed implementing a new reservation system and installed a new kiosk that replaced the old kiosk in Structure 8. Just a reminder, if you are on campus and ride the Bruin Bus, passengers are required to wear a face covering to ride Bruin Bus, and buses will not carry more than 50% capacity as an added safety precaution. Next slide, please. And here's some updates on some completed projects. New F&T software modules to improve efficiencies, such as the new Bruin Car reservation system and kiosk, which provides customers a more user-friendly experience. We've also had the new heavy-duty lift at transit maintenance, which will, among other things, allow our transit operation technicians to inspect, repair, and maintain our new BYD electric 40-foot buses, as well as any other UCLA heavy-duty vehicles at the transit maintenance yard. Telematics installation for all university vehicles. So we're continuing the implementation and installation of a new telematics systems for all UCLA fleet vehicles, which will improve and extend the overall health of all university vehicles. The combined projects of an enhanced fleet management system and the telematics rollout will be key to our development and sustainability of a UCLA motor pool program. Talent match. All right, so F&T is excited to announce an array of different projects, so please be sure to check them out. Sign up on Talent Match site if you're interested, and please contact Alex Carranza for more information. So here's some of the projects we are working towards completing in the next 6 months, and some will be listed on Talent Match. We are working with our IT team to implement the new international standard for real-time bus location information. This will allow our buses to be seen in all nationwide transit trip planning applications. LCFS, the low carbon fuel standards. We're going to be reporting electric vehicle usage. What this will allow us to do to incur state credits, which will provide financial benefits, which may be used to purchase more EV chargers. We have a new online input system for employee driver licenses and vehicle safe monitoring. So we are redesigning the driver intake process to add new drivers to the pull notice system. This with the new modules on AssetWorks, which allows our technicians to work more efficiently. And finally, I'd like to take this time to recognize and to give a big shout out to the UCLA Fleet Technician Operations staff for their continued excellent standards in accepting and processing new vehicle deliveries. Now that concludes my presentation, and I'm about to hand the baton to Ray Manguso. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Darren. All right, Ray, you're up.
Morning, everyone. I'm Ray Manguso, Manager of Parking Enforcement and Citation Review, and I'll be providing today's update for finance systems and first, I'd like to update everyone on the status of the Sunset water main break and the subsequent flood that occurred in our parking areas. As I mentioned during last month's meeting, Structure 7 reopened relatively quickly after the incident, but Structure 4 sustained bad damage as a result of standing water and damage and debris accumulation. In these past weeks, Assets has coordinated the cleaning and repairs of Structure 4, including debris and sediment removal, elevator, light, and other electrical repairs, and safety equipment replacement, such as the replacement of no longer operational carbon monoxide detectors. Here are some photos of Structure 4 after the cleaning repairs. Next slide, please. And we do expect, there you go. And we expect Structure 4 to be operational in the next couple of weeks. So obviously a lot cleaner, more well-lit environment now after the. Next slide. Moving on to office construction, room 106, the new events office location, has completed its wall demolition. Painting and patching began last week. Additionally, phase 2 of the lobby construction is now underway, and we expect completion of the project by end of November. Here you'll see some photos of the floor plan of the new events office layout, as well as a projected photo of what the lobby may look like. Next slide, please. The official start to the fall quarter is this week, meaning undergraduate residents moved in last week to the Hill. Obviously, this academic year is impacted with COVID-19 precautions. Only approximately 800 residents moved into the Hill, with an additional 2,000 residents moving into the university's off-campus locations. All residents are mandated to self-quarantine and sequester for 14 days prior to leaving their building. Next slide. So lastly, I'd like to touch on a very recent development that we just learned about this week. Tomorrow, we can expect an unknown amount of demonstrators to march from Westwood Village up to the UCPD area where they plan to rally. The approximate time frame for this is 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Those of you that remember the protest from June, this impact will be similar. We're expecting to have a hard closure of Westwood Plaza in both directions, from Strathmore to Charles E. Young Drive South during the rally in front of PD. We can also expect intermittent delays and rolling closures while protesters march north from the village. Those of you working on campus tomorrow should plan alternative routes while leaving during closing time and expect delays. This concludes my presentation.
All right, thank you so much, Ray. All right, next up we have Chinsaw Hill with the events office.
Thanks, Gina. The events office is still working diligently to bring more commercial filming back to UCLA. We also have an approved reopening protocol for filming. While other university campuses are just beginning to host their film shoots and setting their protocols, we have been successfully doing it since July. And like all other operations anywhere else, there is a new norm for commercial filming. Production companies are spending more time to coordinate getting the necessary mask, cleaning service and products, testing their staff, and needing more space than before for physical distancing, to name a few. They are having regular COVID tests anywhere between once per week before the start of filming and up to 5 times per week per staff during filming. For example, the first assistant director will test 5 times a week once filming starts because he or she will have regular close contact to the actors. Next slide. Some film projects are scaling down on crew members during scouting and during filming. For large movie shoots, there could be up to 5 more staff added as part of the COVID monitoring team. But generally, there's a trend to reduce the amount of crew members in any given projects. Next slide. More space in general is needed for staging of equipment, and a lot more tents for crew feeding and extras holding for physical distancing. Next slide. Here, for example, is one possible catering table setup with plexiglass partitions with 6 slots where a maximum of 4 people can take lunch. With the required testing of crew members during the entire filming process, PPEs, cleaning and sanitation protocols, and COVID monitoring, just to name a few, production companies and studios have adapted a new way of operating to resume their work. Our goal at the events office is working with the environmental health and safety here and the other campus stakeholders to ensure the safety of UCLA staff and students while hosting film shoots. I'll give it back to Gina. Thank you for your time.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Janessa. Let's see. Next up, we have, oh, okay. My screen sharing went away. Next up, we have Q&A. So I will go ahead and kick it over to Renee Fortier and Steve Wang for question and answer.
All right, thank you. Steve, do you have questions that you want to put out there? Because I don't see any here.
Okay, it looks like we have a note from Steve that we haven't gotten any questions for Q&A.
We haven't gotten many. There were a couple, both regarding the flu shots. Would you like me just to take those, Renee?
Yeah, I will go ahead.
Okay.
We had an initial offer from the medical center about making flu shots available to us, but no time frame, and no official announcement about it. So I have followed up again with the medical center, and we will get word out to you as soon as we can about the availability.
Right, and then there was a second question that was, with the work from home date extended until March 19th, 2021, are we still required to get the flu shot by November 1st, 2020? And I can answer that by specifically reading off of the UC FAQs regarding this topic. Their FAQ question was, will faculty or staff working remotely this fall need to document immunization by November 1st? The answer they provided is, if faculty or staff working remotely need to access a UC facility at any time, they must certify by November 1st that they have received the 2020-2021 flu vaccine or have an approved exemption or accommodation. So basically the answer is, if you need to access a UC facility, including campus at all, then the answer is yes. Other than that, I actually did not get any other questions.
All right, then I think want to thank everybody for their time today. Thank the presenters for a great job, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you very much.